Hello, my name is MorVenhuizen, and I would like to welcome you all to my presentation on veterinary medicine. I started thinking about what I could do for my senior project once junior year was over. At that time, I imagined doing something that I'm really passionate about, which is running. I pictured interning at different races in order to learn more about health and fitness. However, as much as I love running and being outdoors, it is not a career I wish to pursue, more like a hobby. I wanted to do something that would allow me to test the waters in a career that I could do for the rest of my life. So medicine came to my mind, more specifically human medicine. I went to numerous pharmacies hoping to snag an internship. However, I was turned down one too many times. So then that's when I had my aha moment that maybe human medicine wasn't the best fit for me. So I decided animals. I loved animals and I've been around them my entire life. And I've become really fond of them, mostly because in his spare time, my father would train dogs for field trials. So one way or the other, my sister and I would wake up one morning to find like a new dog in the backyard. And also my grandfather, he lives on a farm. And so we go up there all the time, and it gave us a chance to really interact with all the animals that they have, which is a large selection. So animals have played a huge role in my life, and by doing my project on them, I felt like I was sort of thanking them in a way by gaining as much knowledge on them as possible. So, my journey, I went to the Mutual Animal Clinic in hopes of finding an internship. And after being turned down so many other times, I was determined to get this one and not let it slide through my fingertips. So finally, I got the answer I was looking for, and I cannot wait to get started. The staff at the Mutual Animal Clinic are hardworking and passionate human beings that care deeply about what they do. This picture consists not only of veterinarians, but also assistants and technicians that work alongside them. And one thing I learned from my internship is that it's how important every person is in this process. Like going into my internship, I thought that the vets were like the most important and they ruled everything. But it turned out that they rely heavily on the assistants to get the patients prepped and ready and the tools out and prepped. And they also rely on the technicians to get all the information on the diseases and illnesses that they might encounter during the checkups. Last but not least, I met my mentor, Dr. Brandy Layton, who turned out to be a great example of someone who loves what she does and doesn't give up in the face of conflict. She went to Virginia Tech for her undergraduate degree and later graduated from the Virginia-Maryland Regional College of Veterinary Medicine. And later that year, she actually joined the Mutual Animal Clinic team, which is where I met her. So now that I finally had an internship lined up, I started thinking about topics for my research question. And heartworm disease stood out to me because I heard it basically all my life from my father talking about the dogs that he trained, and I knew I wanted to learn more about it. So heartworm disease is a parasite, a worm that is a parasite, and it's transmitted through mosquitoes. And it can live and evolve in an animal for more than 7 years. And you can see it targets the lungs and the heart, and you can see the difference between the normal heart, and then the swollen one, which is around it. And it's a big difference, and it needs to be treated as soon as possible because it can turn to be a deadly disease. This is an example of how widespread heartworm disease is in the United States. So through my internship, my mentor allowed me to shadow her like going into the checkups, and I wasn't expecting it, but I was really fortunate. I got to experience it, and I got to see how she interacted with the owners of the patients, because that's their family, and you need to respectfully take care of them. And I learned that there is a language barrier, and it's hard to know what the dog is feeling, and so you really need to rely heavily on the body language for like signs of pain. And one experience I will never forget is when she allowed me to watch her do surgery, and it was an experience because I wasn't expecting it, and I learned that it's important to know what you're doing before you get started, because once the surgery starts, you don't have a lot of time to mess up. So for my community service, I've decided to go to the SVCA, and that's where I met my mentor, Allison Carlin, who is the producer. She is the manager of productions and volunteers, and she is very passionate about what she does, and she loves animals, and she just really takes care of them. I was interested in, or I learned that it's a community-based organization, and it was cool to see how much they involve kids in everything they do. Like, they have 5K runs with dogs, and they allow the kids to come and run with them and stuff. This is one of the rooms they have at the SPCA where the animals can run around and get exercise, because they don't want them in their rooms the whole time. And this is the room I was in a lot. It's the sign-in room before you go and get your job for the day. And you have the volunteers, they are required to wear a smock, so people know who you are and what you're doing there. And I spent the majority of my time doing laundry for the SPCA. And it was interesting. And this was just one day's job. They just throw the laundry on there like every night and expect people to get that done in one day, and this picture does not do the smell justice. It's pretty gross, and you have to wear gloves because the laundry, it isn't dirty from like smells. It has like stuff on it. And one of the girls that was working with me that day, she volunteered. She's been doing it for years. And she told me to make sure that I'm careful when I open like the bag back there, because I was sitting there all night. And she said, okay, be sure when you open it, you don't get too close, because there are bad smells that come from it. And so I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm out of that. And so I opened it, and it was awful. And it was so disgusting. And there was stuff all over it, so you had to wear gloves. And then once you do the laundry, we were required to organize it in this shelving compartment. And you can see it's not very organized because it's really hectic. People are running around trying to get their laundry in. So that's just another picture. And then I also thought it was really cool that all the items you see here, they're all donated from the community. So it shows that the community really cares about what the SPCA is doing, and they want to see it thrive. And they also donate totally. And so I was really inspired by how community-based the SPCA was, and I wanted to give that to my community. So I went to the Southern States and hope to partner with them for possible donations. And so I made these doggy dollars, and so the customers had an opportunity to give donations for the animal shelter here in Houston. So all the money will be donated to them at the end of every month. And so what I learned from this experience is to listen to your heart and do what you want to do. I learned that I'm probably not prepared to work in the animal field just because it wasn't as good as I hoped. And also, advice for you guys is nothing's impossible. You can always find something you are passionate about and never give up. I will be attending Virginia Tech next year, and hopefully I will be able to study architecture. I'm still not sure. And I know it's a big jump, but you have to learn. Woo. Questions?
Morgan, you talked about your question was about heartworms, but specifically what kind of things were you really dialed in on the whole heartworm question?
I learned that how it really affects the dog. Like it affects their breathing and like how they act, and you have to really like watch. Like they're not as active, or like they're swollen, stuff like that. Just how
What was your biggest surprise at the vet? Any perception you had going in that was completely busted and effective?
I was surprised at how similar it is to human doctors. Like they have separate rooms. It's this sort of checkup thing. When you go in, it's the same exact procedure, and I was surprised.
Maybe large animal.
Yes, I didn't experience any of this,